yet another political podcast. Come together and yap with us.
Howdy, yappers. It's been a couple of weeks, but we're back. Some things have happened in the political world, as they do, and we're here talking about the dumbest things in the political news realm. Before we get into it, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Dustin.
And I'm Adam.
All
Team
right.
Algae, motherfucker.
So I'm going to start. The title of this thing I put as the non-self-reflection pool. This is yet another moment in Donald Trump's life where he could take a chance. This could be a chance for him to self-reflect, but instead he's doubled down on blaming people that have nothing to do with it. But first of all, I want to start out by playing a short clip from our show 2 weeks ago, because I'm self-reflecting. I'm going to say the nicest thing I've probably ever said about Donald Trump. For all of the hullabaloo surrounding the reflecting pool in front of the Lincoln Memorial, and it actually looks nice. They did a good job.
Oh.
Upon some self-reflection, it has not looked nice. The way I understand it, in the last 2 days, they finally got most of the algae out of the pool, and reports from various news outlets show that, okay, it does actually look all right. But that's not the only thing that's happened with this goddamn pool in DC. So I think just about everybody probably knows at this point that the lining is coming up, most likely because it was improperly applied. And Trump has just like Pinocchio's nose, it keeps going up every time you ask him about it. First, it was a 250-foot gash made with a knife in the side, and then it was 300, and then it was 350. It's probably more now. But he's claiming that people have vandalized it, including this former gold medalist Olympian that just stopped and saw a thing floating in the pool and just kind of stopped to look at it, and they arrested him amongst at least 6 other people.
Yeah, I've heard if you take the knife gash that the perpetrators did and put it vertically, it's as tall as or taller than the Empire State Building.
I mean, that's quite the accomplishment. Just like redoing the reflecting pool.
Yeah, it's just so well, talk about, Donald Trump doesn't have the capacity to self-reflect. He's a psycho. Yeah, it's just so crazy. Amongst everything, this is the least consequential thing as far as whatever's going on, besides people being arrested on bullshit charges, but yeah, you hired somebody who wasn't qualified to do the job. His only experience was in swimming pools before this. When you apply paint or whatever, it takes time. It has to cure between coats. You know what I mean? So I think they rushed it, because when they got it done, I was like, that was pretty fast for that much.
Yeah, other analysis that I've seen,
that
people
you're
that know
down.
more about this stuff that I've seen have said that they probably didn't sandblast or the equivalents thereof at first before you adhere the whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, you have to prep the surface properly. I would think that would take a while. There's the photo of them driving over it in a motorcade while I would assume it was still curing. So who knows what kind of damage that did. And then dumping all the hydrogen peroxide into it to try to kill the algae. Some people were talking,
sure there's no
people
problem.
who are more knowledgeable than I were breaking down how,
that might have
hydrogen peroxide could break that down. You know what I mean? Which would explain why it's pieces coming up. You know what I mean? Almost like it didn't cure properly, so you have a bubble or something, and then you introduce the hydrogen peroxide, or who knows? I'm not a pool expert, but it's absolutely fucking ridiculous that you're arresting people for pulling peeled paint out of a pool, that you ruined. But it just shows
the other
how
weird
infantile he
pieces,
is, you know.
if they had like slit it with a knife down like a 300-foot access or more, why are all of the pieces coming up like cut, like big pieces and chunks that
Mhm.
are cut at weird angles, like they're cut into a square to be pulled up?
Yeah.
Um,
No, it looks like, just look at a house that has peeling paint. That's what it looks like, where you have the pieces that have lifted off and now they're floating because it wasn't done properly. Um, so it's just a big grift again, you know, where he's rewarding his donors with, yeah, this is the guy who
this is my
apparently got
favorite thing
the
ever.
contract to install the circulate, the filtration system. Because that was their whole thing. They're going to seal it and install this new filtration system, and it wouldn't, that the sealing it was supposed to keep it from leaking. And but again, it was, yeah, the ducks dying. Like I saw that picture of that dead duck, and it's just like, what a fucking. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. It's just like,
They
what
found two
a
more
symbol.
just near it, not in the water,
I wouldn't doubt
too.
it. Yeah. So, well, you dumped. Who knows if the.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I mean, who knows if it was the peroxide?
Stuff, you know what I mean? Who knows?
Yeah.
Knowing how fucking stupid these people are, I wouldn't doubt if they just went to Lowe's and bought fucking blue.
Uh-oh. We're losing you, Adam. I'll pick up
text
slack,
or something like that. But frozen there, freezing
yeah,
up on me. I'm freezing on you.
One or the other.
Anyways,
but yeah, there's some lag.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this dude, he is a cartoon villain. This isn't like some kind of cosplay or Halloween event that he's going to here. This is just this dude who's Trump's neighbor in Palm Springs, just a few down from Mar-a-Lago. Had done some pools for him before, but that's all he had done. He has fraud charges that he was convicted of, and bribery charges back in the early 2010s. Not a good dude, but like right on par with the type of people that Donald Trump hangs out with.
Yeah. Yep. Just more criminal grifting from this administration is what it comes down to, and not ever being able to take responsibility for anything. And you have to start saying that, make all these stupid fucking obviously false claims. Like if somebody fucking dove into the pool and was cutting it up with a knife, I think somebody would have noticed, you know, like.
And there are 24/7 live cameras. Supposedly they have the proof.
People have been all around there, well, until they put the fence up, you know. Like,
yeah,
that was
the other little thing. They put up a fence yesterday to keep people out of the pool area now because of all this. Supposedly part of it was going to be blocked off anyway for the fireworks for the great 250 fair or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's definitely more than a coincidence there.
It's just another failure. Another failure and another grift. Put it on the list.
But today, more than just Trump coming out and saying that it was vandalized, now the National Park Service, one of the deputy director of it, has basically echoed the same thing, and they claim to have evidence. I won't completely discount this idea that there was vandalism, because he's like saying that there was like 70 I guess I thought I had it in this announcement, but he claimed that 70 fence tops were vandalized and thrown into the pool as well. So like I don't know what to believe at this point. I don't believe Trump or even this guy, but we'll see. If it comes out in court that like somebody actually vandalized it, all right, but you're going to have to show me the proof, because everything about this seems to be adding up to Trump gave this no bid contract that he used emergency powers to do, because it was an emergency that we take care of the reflecting pool right now. That's the only way you're allowed to do a no bid contract. So like everything else, he's trying to use emergency powers in non-emergency times to get his way.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's a specific procedure that any take. I don't know why we're extra laggy tonight.
Now with extra lag.
I don't have audio now from you.
That's not good.
There we are. Okay, now I hear you. Yeah, seems a little extra tonight. I'm not sure what's going on.
Double your flavor, double your fun.
What I was saying was that they invoked emergency powers because there's a certain procedure that any proposed renovations or changing of landmarks have to go through, and they use that to circumvent that procedure, to ram this through with no oversight. It's just more of their same bullshit, really.
And now it looks like we're going to drain it again and spend more millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Also, it probably still won't work.
Yeah, fixing it again.
I mean, at this point, part of it's not even just Trump. This thing has been a problem consistently for the last 100 years.
Yeah, no, it needs some major work, but what they did obviously wasn't fixing the problem. Well, talking about it being rushed, I think they were and are again they want it done by the 4th of July. You know what I mean? They were trying to get it rushed and done in time for the big 250.
Yeah, that seems to be the case.
But anyways, yeah, fucking
yeah, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Let's move on to another thing that looks like it's going to be done in a way that isn't so proper, just like using emergency powers to do a no big contract for your buddy. The SAVE Act is not as dead as we may have thought. So Trump also this week, there was a really bipartisan bill. Like very few House reps and senators didn't vote for it on either side because it was like good for people. So what does he do? He's not going to sign it into law. He is holding out to pass this stupid SAVE Act, which is going to disenfranchise millions of legal voters and basically let Donald Trump decide who's worthy to vote or not. And like the Speaker of the House Johnson is trying to play this up as, oh, well, it's like a 90-10 issue. Everybody agrees that we should have voter ID at the polls. And if that was all it was, sure, fine. I don't really care. But there's way more in this sucker. And the House that had already passed it, but the Senate didn't want to even take it to the floor. It looks like the House wants to try to put it into a budget reconciliation bill, which is basically illegal. And the Senate parliamentarian had already shot that down. So we'll see where this goes. But this is like a whole other stupid fucking can of worms that we're dealing with.
Yeah. Little baby Trump doesn't want to help people because the Congress won't pass his fucking dumb act that he wants passed. To what did I see today? It's estimated about 9% of the voting population can't come up with the type of ID that would be required under this law. So what are we talking about? What was it? Like 150 million people voted in the last election, something like that. So 9% of that, you're talking about disenfranchising what, like 12 million people, something like that.
Yeah, and I think it will probably backfire on Republicans if they passed it more than they think, because who are some of the most at-risk people for not having their ID up to date? And that's old people. And who votes overwhelmingly Republican? Old people.
Yeah. Well,
you're going to have so many of them go to the polls to find out that their license is expired and they don't get to vote, that I bet it backfires and they get rid of it within a cycle. but it
Yeah.
shouldn't be passed at all because
No,
it's going
it's
to
bullshit.
disenfranchise a whole bunch of people across the spectrum.
Yeah, we have a way in which we verify your identity for voting purposes, and it works very well. We actually catch the small amount of people who try to actually commit voter fraud. You know, as much as the Republicans have been crying about it for however long, you know, massive voter fraud is not statistically shown to take place. And the people who do it get caught. And guess what? Most of them are fucking MAGA. But yeah, it's just like the thing in the California, you know, where they're crying about, you know, the results changing as the mail-in ballots come in, and they talk shit about mail-in voting by mail, and then like one of the primaries, Trump's like, make sure you get your ballot in if you can't get to the. And it's just like you're shitting on he votes by mail, from what I've read.
Right, but for the
So
most part, the party's been telling their people, you don't know, you got to go to the polls on election day. So in a state that's, or at least the LA area that's
I
75% blue, they
I
shouldn't
think
be
part of
surprised
the
when it
yeah
happens like this.
part of the SAVE Act is restricting mail-in ballots. And also, if I'm remembering correctly, they want to, it's so fucking stupid. They want whatever votes are counted on election day, that's it. By the end of election day, no more votes can be counted because that's what most places they count the mail-in ballots last, which is what where all this the shit from 2020 came from. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, dumping ballots in the middle of the night. And you're like, yeah, there's a pandemic. People were voting in record numbers by mail-in ballot. Mail-in ballots get counted after the
Yeah,
votes
it's
that are
almost like
gathered on
they went
election
to the
day.
drop boxes
There was
and gathered the stuff and brought it,
there was a
or
shitload of
they brought
fucking
in
ballots to
the stuff
count.
from the different polling places to the
Yeah.
one central location where they count them.
Yeah, it's done by hand, and it's every one of them is verified by a signature. But
Right, and
anyways,
that's
so
part
it's
of
like,
what people are up in arms with about California, because they take the time to match the signature of every single
yeah,
person that does a mail-in ballot. It's
yeah,
one of the most secure elections in the country, and it takes time to get it right.
yeah,
These people that scream about fraud and election integrity should be pleased that there's this level of oversight.
yeah. Well, that the system is in this regard works really well when it's followed. And these systems have been put in place for a reason. These aren't we're so myopic we don't ever remember that, you know, once upon a time there was more corruption and things like that, to having to do with our elections. So we've developed systems to prevent that from happening. That's where these systems come from, is to secure the elections. Um, it's just funny, like with the ranked choice voting here in Maine, because it took them what
Week and a
it was
half.
like a week and a
It
half,
wasn't
I
that
think, to
long.
suss it out. Yeah. And it's because they have to follow the system that the people of this state of Maine have overwhelmingly voted for and support. But you know, you just see the comments from the idiots like, "Oh yeah, just keep counting them till you get the results you want," and blah blah blah. And it's like you
And they
just
were
don't.
all sure that Shayna Bellows, the
Oh
Secretary of
yeah,
State that
yeah,
is at the head of the office that counts, that she was just cheating for herself,
yeah. And
and
I
she
think
did
she ended
not
up coming in like
end up. She was in
fourth.
fourth.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's just dealing with people who are completely ignorant and bought into the propaganda, you know.
Yeah, and then you look at like elections like in Alabama, where by the time they're done with the runoff election that they now have to do, which costs more in the long run too, they're not going to have their results till August for some of their races.
Wow.
So
So it's
like,
going to be a very short campaign season.
yeah,
I guess you
like the
keep campaigning, but
TikTok generate. Even if you're not part of the TikTok generation, the TikTok and like the likes have destroyed our attention span. Like you can't wait more than a couple of days to find out who we're gonna vote for in 5 months.
yeah. Well, if I'm remembering correctly, I think it was till Thursday or Friday before they officially determined the results of the presidential election. I'm sure it was
Yeah,
it was 2 or 3 days because
because they want to get it right. That's amazing that we want to get something right.
I know we had a bunch of stuff to cover.
Yeah, I'll move on. This one I only want to talk about for like a moment. So
Yeah.
Trump's name came off the Kennedy Center, though you wouldn't know it here because he required them to put up this ridiculous tarp so nobody would see his name coming down off of the wall, because that would be and should rightly be basically the analogy of his presidency, where his name is taken off of everything and everybody forgets him, and probably and within a generation his golden statue at Mar-a-Lago or wherever it was put up will probably be toppled.
Yeah. Well, we should probably seize it and use it to pay for some of the damages to
It's just gold spray
It's
paint. You know it's not actually
it's not
worth
even
more
real
than
gold.
like 10 grand.
It's not even real gold.
No.
I had that thought, all this money that he's grifting, I think that once the Democrats get control and get him out of office, if that is the way it goes, we'll see, because they're really trying
I have my doubts.
They're really trying to stop any sort of free and fair election. They're doing all kinds of shit already to try to fuck with the election, like saying we're not gonna mail the post office head of the post office saying we're not gonna mail your mail-in ballots for you if your state didn't turn over their voter rolls.
That is like a whole other can of worms I don't want to get into tonight because we could be here all night.
But I'm just saying that's an
example
of the shit that they're trying to do.
Yes.
But anyways, so I was thinking we should make Trump pay with his billions, rebuild the East Wing, fix the reflecting pool, fix the lawn. That should all come out of his bank account. But
yeah, speaking of the East Wing, the only other thing that I wanted to talk about briefly was this tacky show of fucking male.
Did you watch any of it?
I did, actually. This is the first time I ever watched MMA or UFC. I watched the first couple of fights. The first one, okay, this was a whole other thing that I forgot to get anything about. But there's this weird back and forth allegation that Donald Trump Jr. had asked and tried to get inside info about who was slated to win a fight. And that was the first fight. And I even thought, before I had heard any of that it kind of looked staged by the end, because it was these two guys, we called it playing patty cake, because they just kind of kept like tapping knuckles for the first like 2.5 minutes of the fight, not actually doing anything. And then not much was going on, and then it kind of looked like one guy might win, and then the other guy almost looked like he just took a dive, and that was the dude. And the dude that won was the dude that Don Jr. was thinking of. So I don't want to start a conspiracy theory here, but there's that. It's weird. And then the second fight was just like one guy got the other guy into this weird lock, and I don't even understand the rules, where like in wrestling this would have already been out, but he just kind of held him in his legs for like 3 minutes. It was weird. I don't understand how you actually tap out and lose in this. It's dumb.
Yeah, well, I think it's by knockout or submission, probably, or points, I guess. I'm sure. I don't follow UFC. I don't really follow much besides American football these days. But it was a white trash party hosted by the president on the lawn of the White House,
Yeah, and then this.
Yeah.
What is this obsession with conservatives saying that Michelle Obama is a man? This isn't new. This has been going on since Obama was in office.
Yeah, I was say
it's gotten worse in the last few years, but like I don't know where this comes from. Hello, Rob. Okay, goodbye, Robbie.
Hi, bye. Guess we're not good enough.
Yeah. Thoughts?
I don't know. I don't get it.
For the people that are like,
Michelle
you
Obama
don't know
had
what
it-
a woman is. What's a woman? Well, apparently you don't know, because if you don't look at Michelle Obama and see a woman, I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Yeah. I don't know where it started. It's probably a fucking just whatever, one of these little conspiracy, probably at the time Tea Party back channel bullshit thing that someone just, early days of 4chan or whatever, 8chan or whatever the fuck. I never went on any of those boards. So, yeah. And now it's just, I don't know. They think they're insulting the Obamas, I guess. I think that they think they're being funny and insulting the Obamas. So I don't understand.
I don't get this obsession. This is a weird one, and it's just it's just like when Trump called them apes. It's disgusting and it's weird.
Yeah, and then
of
you
all
have
the
fucking
insults
Joe
that
Rogan
you could hurl,
and,
like where does this one come from?
And then Joe Rogan and Trump are just laughing about it. It's like, you guys are just fucking disgusting pieces of shit.
And
really,
we've talked about Trump falling asleep at sporting events. He fell asleep. How do you fall asleep at a UFC fight that's right in front of your face? How is that physically possible? Hello,
Yeah,
Robbie.
I was up late watching that radical left Kimmel talking bad about me. I mean, I have so many important things to do. And, when I stay up late, I do it for the good of the country. Okay, just because I doze off in the UFC fight doesn't mean I'm working too hard.
Totally not sundowning.
Yeah, well, I just figured the
My arm
Adderall's
is
worn
supposed
off.
to look like this. It's always looked like this. That's why they didn't take me in the army.
That was bone spurs.
And no, it's not masturbation.
No, I always figured the Adderall wore off, and then he wakes up and he has a fresh hit, and that's when he goes on his rage tweeting till 4 a.m.
I was really surprised at the beginning of this thing. It showed him and Dana White, the president of UFC, walking all the way from the Oval all the way out to ringside. And that was quite a walk. I was surprised 80-year-old Trump made it without like any issues.
Yeah, he had a fresh sniff before showtime. He fell asleep at the Knicks game too.
Yep. All right, Robbie, we've already talked about the reflecting pool. If you have anything you want to throw in about that debacle.
You have any reflections?
Okay. So an Olympic swimmer was arrested for just trying to touch the water and see what the hell is going on their public taxpayer-funded thing. All the stuff that's happening with the reflecting pool is some of these. More people have been arrested for the reflecting pool than they have from the Epstein files. Pretty disgusting. I hate all that's happening with the reflective pool. Say whatever you want about the politics of these national memorials. This is a disgrace to our country on multiple levels.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh,
keep losing Robbie. Yeah, all right. Let's
issues now.
Let's move on to Iran. Because this has been maybe now, Robbie. You hear? Maybe not.
You didn't hear any of that, did you?
No, you completely dropped and then came back.
I heard national disgrace.
Yep, we hear you.
Okay, well, all I was saying is, the reflecting pool stuff, national disgrace. There's no fucking reason it needed to be painted. There's no fucking reason Fat Cat from Chippendale Rescue Rangers got a multi-million-dollar contract. I wish we had great Antifa warriors like Chippendale around to take down this Fat Cat.
Oh, I think we need to get Darkwing Duck on the case. That's what we're missing here.
When there's trouble, you call DW, baby. He knows how to get dangerous.
Well, let's move on to something actually dangerous. The flip-flopping in Iran. It looked like we finally had a deal. And then, to nobody's surprise, Israel went and fucked it all up.
Yeah. I don't think Israel's in on the deal.
They've actively said that they do not support the deal. They will not stop bombing Lebanon.
Yeah. Yeah, this isn't going to be solved anytime soon.
It's going to have to, literally, because
thankful Israel.
Go ahead, Robbie.
I just want to say, are you thankful Israel? Yeah, are you thankful Israel is acknowledging the ceasefire and doing the correct thing? God, thank God this Trump administration came in. They made sure the ceasefire happened. A whole new world of peace.
Ceasefire? I hardly knew her.
Yeah, I mean, all of the hundreds of millions, probably billions at this point that we've given Israel, and they can't just back us on this, you know?
Oh, it's with a B. It is with a B.
I am so fucking thankful Israel, the country of Israel gets free college and healthcare while I have to work for both of those things. I'm so thankful they get that from our fucking taxpayer money. That's so fantastic. I love that we fund their missile program so they can have that. They would be lost without that. I mean, they need to have that missile program. I don't know why, but they need to have it for some reason.
Well, it's for when Iran is shooting at them for attacking them in Lebanon and Gaza.
No. Iran and Israel are best friends.
They have to have it for when they provoke other nations into defending themselves.
Here's the thing. Despite gas going down slightly recently, one of the things, and this is like a whole other thing we'll get into in a minute, the oil companies went to Trump like a week and a half ago and said, we have a little over 4 weeks of oil in reserve to make gas. And after that, we're in a lot of trouble. I don't know why we've still been, and we'll get into the gouging thing in a little bit, but literally this push is going to have to come to shove here. It already looked like Trump was kind of rolling over and like, all right, well, we'll make a deal because we don't really have a choice. We got into a quagmire that we couldn't actually break. And now, like, we're going to break the entire world here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, shit, everything I was going to say just flew out of my head. Well, yeah, you had Israel continue to attack Lebanon, but also was it at G7 or post G7 where Trump was saying if they don't make a deal, you won't even make it back to Iran. We'll fucking take over your country. It was something like that.
Oh, I missed that.
Obviously,
the G7 was a whole other can of worms. I don't
even you didn't see that. I think it might have been post G7. I can't remember. It was just a blip I read, but yeah, obviously it pissed the Iranians off, saying you're not going to make it back to your country, and if you don't fucking cooperate, we're going to just take your country over. So yeah, well, how about a little gas crisis in the middle of fucking summertime in America? That's going to be real good for the economy, huh?
Well, I mean,
shit, you know.
I guess
summertime and the living's easy here. Yeah,
better stay home. Gas is $10 a gallon.
It could easily go there very, very quickly because there literally won't be any gas left except it drops basically for the rest of us.
Yeah. And then if that drags even further, we get into when people that live in colder climates need heating oil.
We played the game and basically flipped a coin at the end of this spring. It's like, do we get some now at almost $6 a gallon, or do we pray that it goes down and doesn't go to 10 by the time the fall comes around and we absolutely have to fill up?
Yeah.
Donald Trump literally doesn't give a fuck one way or the other.
Oh, he does not.
A few Americans froze to death. How is that on my hands? Maybe they should have quit buying so much avocado toast.
Maybe we should figure
America's
out whether
never been
we
better.
should call them Democrats or Dumbocrats before winter. That's more important.
Ability to me, I don't care. Yeah. If you heard that, I think we were frozen, but he literally said that he don't bring up the word affordability to him. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to hear it.
He doesn't know what that is.
Yeah, no shit.
Know what
he's
that
never
is.
fucking done. He's never done any. That's what I think so funny. This fucking alpha male. He can't even fucking drive a car. You think You think Donald Trump knows how to put gas in a fucking car?
Never.
You think Donald Trump knows how to go to the store and buy groceries or anything or do anything for
Such
himself?
an old-fashioned term.
He probably has people that tie his fucking shoes for him. Same people that change
guaranteed.
his diaper.
He can't bend over to do that anymore.
Yeah.
I so appreciate your service in tying my shoes. You see, the presidential hands are very, very sensitive. Not in like a non-alpha male way. Just they're very sensitive. So thank you for your service.
Oh, he has to rest his hands for all his pardons that he's been selling. He can't use the auto pen.
I guess we can get straight into, so attached to this, we've already talked about how the oil companies have let Trump know that, we're almost out of oil reserves other than the National Reserve, which still doesn't have a lot left in it. So Trump also this week, because gas prices aren't dropping immediately the way he said they would when the war was over, which it's not over. Iran has closed the strait again. Has directed the DOJ to look into price gouging by big oil. Now, I am all for this. We all know pretty much that they've been gouging us for years, but that's just it. If the president gives up the gain that they've been gouging us, it's not that it just started now. This is following the same pattern that the oil companies have taken anytime there's been a disruption or a war in a country that has major oil. So it would be admitting that the U.S. is implicated in a lot of this stuff and that we've subsidized them and that we've known that they've been gouging us for years. So he's like, I don't think he understands the can of worms that he's opening, but by trying to go to war with big oil. I actually support this. It's one of the only things I've ever heard Donald Trump say that I support. But this is not going to go over for him the way he thinks. And truly, I mean, have they been gouging us? Yes. But where is the majority of the price of this? Back to what we talked about at the top of the hour. Non-self-reflection by Donald Trump. He could have said, yeah, I fucked up. I got us into a war. Now we're going to find a way to get us back to prosperity. Instead, what does he do? Blame someone else.
Yeah, always.
See, that's a big problem. That's a huge problem I have when trying to talk like politics with a lot of people in my actual non-internet life. They want to say the like centrist talking point of, well, I agree with some things Trump says, but I don't agree with others. Like they take this real like non-argument approach to it. It's like, no, this guy is entirely self-serving. Like every moment of his life is self-serving. Every good point he makes is just it's 5 o'clock somewhere of decisions. Like it's enraging. That anyone takes this person with any credibility. Yeah, this is terrible. Yeah.
Yep, they have been gouging us for years, but only now you're going to uncover it during when you fucked up.
Yeah.
Big oil is going to hit back really hard. And I also can't wait for that. They have destroyed and found ways to buy up and buy out and shut people up for 100 years about things that would lessen our dependence on oil. when Donald Trump calls them out like this, you better believe something's going to happen. I don't know what that something is, but they will. Trump loves to, loves to target people and come after them for any perceived grievance. Yeah, the oil company's been doing this for 100 years, bro. Just because you're the president, I promise you they will find their vengeance.
They were doing it during his administration too, and he did genuinely nothing about it in his first administration. Pretty pathetic to be playing that card at this point in the game, DJT.
So, of the many things of DJT, something we've basically known for a long time, that he's given more pardons than any president ever. And now we know that there is a law firm that is lobbying for pardons and has taken at least $500,000 to get somebody's name in front of Trump for pardons. Like, I don't understand how anybody can still support this man with the amount of outright, out in the open goddamn fraud that goes on.
Yeah, it's insane.
I mean, we have actual politicians in our system that point it out all the fucking time. The problem isn't that there's the problem isn't that there's no coverage of it. The problem is that people just outright don't want to deal with it. They don't want to take it in at all. It's a form of media literacy, non-comprehension that is fatal.
I think that's true. I also think we lost Adam. I'm not sure what happened there.
Man. I thought I'd lost you guys for a minute.
Yeah, you've come in and out, but yeah, I'm not sure.
Very sorry. Not sure why this is so bad today.
Yeah, it is what it is. We have all of 1 to 3 people watching live anyway. Yeah, it's just us screaming into the void. It doesn't matter.
Are you glad most of the budget is our salary?
Speaking of budgets, for some reason I don't have the picture, so I'll just show you Keir Starmer and we'll get to him in a minute. So the Pentagon has asked for $80 billion more to basically fund all the stuff that they just did in Iran and wasted, so they can replace all the munitions in our arsenal that's now dangerously depleted. Even if you didn't hate this war just on principles, like, we are in a way worse position militarily after this. We don't have all of the things we need. Training budgets have already been slashed before this. So our people aren't going to get the training or the munitions they need to do their job if something real comes along. Because this is not the emergency and it is not a real war.
Is this the largest failure of a military operation? I don't know, since what, Desert Storm, maybe?
It's probably more costly dollar-wise.
Right.
But what I was going to say is it might be more dollar-wise than Russia wasted in Afghanistan in the 80s. But that was probably actually the biggest waste of a war. I mean, I think they're working on topping themselves in Ukraine right now, but the USSR versus Afghanistan, that was just a waste of money, time, munitions, people.
I thought I lost you, Adam. I was never going to see you again.
Oh,
lost and gone forever.
Freezing up. We were glitching at the beginning, and then it was fine for a while, so I figured it was all set, and then it was literally glitching to the point where I couldn't. I didn't know what you guys were talking about, or I couldn't participate, so I figured I would sign out and sign back in. So
y'all gotta get off dial-up.
I opened my door up because hopefully that would let the Wi-Fi through a little
Let
easier.
the Wi-Fi's come into my room better.
Yeah, the router's on the other end of the house.
All right.
Let it give you the cancer. Let the 5G flow through you.
Yeah. You think I got the COVID vaccine? You think that the transmission would be stronger? Since I'm near it, I should act like a 5G antenna, right?
Yeah, those microchips, they pull stuff towards you, so that should have helped. Yeah. All right, so I don't have a lot to say about this, but Keir Starmer, the seventh UK Prime Minister in a decade, to now be gone.
Yeah, I'm not real familiar with UK politics, but
well, he was part of the Labour Party, and he was one of the first, basically our corporate Democrats.
Okay.
He was the first one in a while to not be one of the two super conservative parties. Right. But even he kind of failed. He lasted long than a few of the conservatives, especially Liz Truss, famously the shortest prime minister in
of all time
British history, where a head of lettuce outlasted her before it rotted.
Yeah.
I guess one of the biggest things should be a takeaway that if they've been through 7 prime ministers in 10 years, why can't we recall stupid people like this? Why aren't we doing this more? Joe Biden should have been pulled from office at his first sign of dementia. This man should have been pulled at his first sign of fraud and abuse. I mean, he should have never been allowed to be president again after the 2020 insurrection. 2021, technically, whatever, from the 2020 election.
Yeah. Well, the mechanisms, it's a simple answer. The mechanisms that are supposed to be in place to remove someone like him are completely broken and corrupt.
Basically everybody in power is just they're pussies. All of them.
Yeah, well, you see all the fucking corpo suckers getting upset that DSA and progressives are winning primaries in New York and other parts of the country. They're like, don't take over our party. Don't take our party over.
Has everyone seen the footage of these people who are being elected into offices and they're getting asked basic questions to gauge the partiality they represent as judges? And they're saying stuff like they divert from the topic and they won't answer, if it's a factual statement, that people attack the Capitol, people attack police officers at the Capitol. These judges
those are real patriots.
Yeah, these judges are openly showing their own bias by not factually stating, because they've been scripted, by the different Trump administration people to talk a certain way to try to avoid accountability. So a lot of the Trump appointed people that are coming in, they're just completely denying everything that has to do with the fact that there was an insurrection. Yeah, terrible. It's disgusting.
Speaking of denials,
it was Antifa. It was Antifa and FBI, but then they had to be pardoned.
Here's the thing that Pete Hegseth tried to deny, that vaccines help prevent stuff, and now he canceled mandatory flu vaccines for the military. And what did we get? A huge uptick in the amount of
facts. And don't care about your feelings, Pete.
So now mandatory flu vaccines are back on.
Yeah.
Vaccines are good again, actually.
I'm sorry that so many people got sick, but fuck you, Pete Hegseth.
I just had a thought. Pete Hegseth looks like the antagonist for a lawyer TV show, like a big lawyer personality TV show. He looks like the shitty rival at another firm or something to the protagonist.
Jesus Christ.
You know what I'm saying, don't you, Adam?
Yeah, he kind of looks like evil 80s bad guy. You know what I mean?
Like there's something kind
the
of
slick
smug
black
about
hair.
him.
You know,
Yeah, the slick back
vodka
hair.
drink in hand.
He's like healthy, but in like a drunk healthy way. You can kind of see he's been slowing down for a while.
Yeah. No, despite the appearance, the liver's not doing well. You can tell.
Oh no, God, no.
Yeah. The incompetence. Anybody truly can be president. We've learned that through Donald Trump, really. As long as you have lots of money.
As long as you're a U.S. citizen.
As long as you're rich. As long as you're a U.S.
Or
citizen.
like a natural born U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
The thing I've heard like in the last few days is like Mamdani in New York is so effective because he can never run for president. I think that's a bit of an exaggeration, but that like nobody expects him to try for a higher office, so he can do pretty much whatever he wants and see how it plays out.
He can become a governor or a senator. You know, those
are right, but honestly, like the mayor of New York is probably more powerful than at least the governor, maybe not a senator.
Okay, yeah, whatever.
Well, half the state's revenue comes from the city, doesn't it? I think I've read something like that. Yeah,
it's pretty close.
Yeah.
Whatever little issues there might be with Mamdani, he has far and away shown that he is one of the like shining examples of what a progressive politician can actually accomplish. Because like a lot of the initiatives he's put in have proven completely they work perfectly. You know, they've just shown that these basic progressive policies, you know, not even anything that's terribly controversial or anything, you know, just basic stuff that makes sure people are doing a little better day to day, you know, hiring up people to help plow the snow and stuff. You know, basically the whole city pitched in and got paid for it to plow the city down, and it worked like aces. I've been impressed.
And then you have fucking MAGA going, "Oh, you got to show ID to shovel snow, but not to vote." It's like, yeah, it's called filling out a fucking W-2 for a job application. Dumb fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know if I thought I had this post that Trump had made this week after 3 Mamdani backed candidates won. Trump flipped out because it was like, but so I've won the primary, or my candidates have won the primary so many times, and just because Mamdani did this, why isn't the media covering me more? Fake news. It's like, dude, your stuff has been covered also. Just because they're showing the tiniest little bit of screen time to Mamdani, you fucking lose it. And things
he probably
like this,
can't remember.
His real poll numbers are the highest they've ever been. Don't forget that.
He can't remember that morning while he was eating his fucking Big Mac for breakfast, washing it down with a Diet Coke, that Fox News ran a puff piece about how all his candidates won their primaries.
I mean, Donald Trump basically owns like 3 media companies to pump his fucking image. And the idea that he doesn't get talked about enough in public is crazy. Like, it's absolutely insane. In fact, the media probably will never cover Mamdani's wins to the degree they will cover Trump's losses, you know, and try to spin them back in a way that doesn't get people rioting.
Yeah. Shit.
It makes you breathless thinking about the idiocy of it.
Yeah. Well, and talking about Mamdani's policies, it's like, yes, this is what it looks like when you have qualified people making decisions. As much as there's things I didn't like about Joe Biden, his administration, despite the opposition, got a lot of shit done, like good stuff done. Like the CHIPS Act and
they didn't actively make
and
things
extending
worse,
COVID subsidies. Well, extending the subsidies for healthcare and doing things like that. Yeah, it's that's just like sensible. That's not even, you know, Joe Biden's not a progressive, you know what I mean? But I mean,
yeah,
when you're comparing, that's you're comparing yourself to what MAGA has become. It doesn't take much to be a progressive, you know what I mean? To actually just like try to have some safeguards and some sort of social safety net and realize that all people should have human rights and have those rights
I want to throw
respected,
this,
you know?
I want to, I throw up to a creator that here on YouTube and elsewhere that has way more followers than we do. Heather Cox Richardson. She is a wonderful woman. None of her stuff ever has ads. She explains things so succinctly. She, in her latest video today, read from the official Republican Party platform from the 1950s. And it's like the most centrist stuff and like calls for stronger unions and universal health care and a few other things that you're like, wow, I don't recognize that Republican Party today. They have it used to be that these were like universal things that everybody wanted. And even today, universal health care polls at about 66% of the country wants it. So it's like a very centrist, very popular thing, but we can't get it done. And for all the Democrats talking about it over the years, it feels like the crop that might come in this election might be the first ones that are actually serious about it. But it's also a big might, because I mean, what I worry is that what we see in their platforms will still just fall under the heel of the Chuck Schumers once they get into power. But we won't know until we try.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big problem with a lot of our Democrats, is that they're just AIPAC stooges that do not give a fuck about actually doing anything about the genocide overseas and how much our money goes into that shit.
Yeah. Well, it was, I believe, Joe Lieberman who cast the deciding vote on the public option when they were getting the ACA passed. So basically, and I think this is a great idea, and this is actually how it is in countries that have universal healthcare. They still, private insurance still exists, but it exists for people who can afford more coverage or whatever benefits.
Right.
And that's the way it should be. So when they were doing the ACA, they wanted to have a public option, meaning that basically they were going to afford the same Medicare that Congress gets, like the congressional Medicare. They wanted to make that available to anyone. That was the universal healthcare aspect of the ACA, and I'm pretty sure it was Lieberman who cast the deciding vote that struck it down. So there you go. It wasn't a Republican that killed it. It was a Democrat, because they're bought and fucking paid for by the insurance companies.
Was Lieberman technically an independent? Who, I mean, he was pretty close to the Democrats, but I thought he was an independent that caucused with, like Angus King does now. But I might be wrong. I only remember Joe Lieberman's voice.
Yeah. I mean, he was. I thought he was Democrat, but he at least was part of that party at the time, as far as caucusing and voting and that sort of thing. But again, either way, it was caucus. Either way, it wasn't a Republican who killed it. You know.
He was both. He started as Democrat. I'm looking it up now. And then he switched to independent towards the end and caucused with the Democrats.
So he might have been technically an independent when he cast that vote. But
still, at the end of his career, he was technically an independent.
Yeah.
God, I don't even know like if the word independent matters a fucking lick anymore in this political landscape.
I don't think it does.
Yeah, like oh my word, sickening. You know, you have no independence from the two-party system. You know, they have just completely swallowed our entire process whole, and they do it through subtle ways and obvious ways. The Democrat Party has sued to keep out the communist and other types of leftist leanings from our voting ballots and stuff. Yeah, sickening stuff.
I mean, I would love to see a day where we outlaw political parties in this country, but that's a pipe dream.
Yeah,
I've come to realize.
I mean, like if we could have a straight democracy, which I more than think they're capable of doing now with the technology we have.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah,
This isn't the
like, we would,
1700s where you
yeah,
like where Congress was dismissed for almost half the year just so they could go home because it might take them a month to get home.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I'm all for abolishing the electoral college. Honestly, I
Oh,
think I've
fuck
said
yes.
that before.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know. Yeah. It's funny because people that are against it will be like, well, then New York and California will decide elections. I'm like, okay, so they have higher populations. I mean, and not everyone in those states are Democrats. And at this point, you're giving what, Iowa, you're giving, each voter like an exponentially bigger saying to even it
Yeah,
out
a
between the
place like
states. You know what I mean?
Wyoming's the
Like,
worst. The
yeah, so
smallest number of
why?
people in a state, but they get their 3 votes.
Yeah, so why should what makes sense to me? It's that doesn't make sense to me that we're giving extra voting power to someone just because they live in a smaller state.
You mean land
But
shouldn't vote? Like all of
yeah,
those maps that Republicans want to lay out that like how
yeah,
many
yeah,
counties they won?
yeah. And they're surprised when Democrats win in Democrat strongholds like L.A. Like
We
All right,
never
speaking of
saw it
LA,
coming.
I had one last story here to talk about, and then we'll get out of here because our hour is up. So no surprise in Donald Trump's weaponized DOJ America, they're going after Gavin Newsom, but they haven't been able to find anything yet. But they've been interviewing like their friends, family, close people to try to get some dirt on them just so they can run a smear campaign against Gavin Newsom. And
he
I mean,
slashed up.
I think Gavin Newsom's kind of a piece of shit too, but
Yeah,
I do love how he hits back at Donald Trump. That's at least worth watching.
yeah. Well, whoever his PR person is really good. Yeah, I don't. There's when people say Newsom for president, it's like fuck no. Like
No,
Oh,
he's
fuck
like,
you. That's what I
yeah,
think.
he's like, yeah, he's Whitey McWhite, fucking rich guy. You know what I mean? Like we've had enough.
He has openly talked about
So,
sympathizing with centrist and far right positions in lots of ways. He had an interview with Charlie Kirk where he was
yeah,
like congratulating him on his horse shit. Yeah, I don't trust
yeah.
that guy as far as I can
no.
throw him.
No, he's an opportunist. But
Yeah.
I'm at,
at the same time, I'm not going to support, fucking lawfare against your perceived political enemies. Oh no! What they'll charge him for he's the pool slasher. It was Gavin Newsom.
that's coming next for sure.
He snuck in a frog suit with a air tank and dove down there and slashed up that pool real good. And that's where they
Trying
stuffed
to,
all the missing ballots for Trump from 2020.
we gotta stop him from indoctrinating our kids with sexy woman frog suits. We gotta stop it.
Speaking of sexy woman frog suits, you just made me think of something. I want to bring up one more question.
Is this a
You
niche
said like
OnlyFans?
people say Gavin Newsom for president. In the last few days, since a bunch of progressive candidates have won their primaries, there's a lot of talk about AOC going for president in 2028. Thoughts before we get out of here?
Honestly, I don't know what to make of that. I would support her. What does a post-Trump presidential race look like at this point? I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
I want to see
mean,
the AOC JD Vance debate. I would kill for that.
Yeah. Yeah, she's progressive. I haven't really seen any statements or policies from her that I've taken issue with, so I would support her. And honestly, who else are they going to put up that's I think we're at the point where we have to keep the momentum going. Those of us that want any hope of actually changing and fighting back against what's going on is we have to support the progressive candidates. And that's where we're at, so I don't really even know who besides her I would put up for the job. You know, I thought maybe like a Josh Shapiro or something, but he's kind of said some things, and it's like, yeah, you kind of, there's some bluster there, but your policy, you know, doesn't seem to be anything that's going against the status quo. And
he's just another.
So I'm not really, I'm just not about it, you know. Yeah, he's kind of like Newsom. So, anyways, what do you think, Robbie?
Final thought?
I think with AOC, you'll get like, I think you'll have the Kamala problem where essentially they'll still be a cop at the end of the day, but doing stuff that promotes a better alternative through the neoliberal agenda. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of AOC. She has her moments. I think she is better than a lot of her contemporaries, but sometimes when I look at the way she the people she associates with, I'm not for sure. I think she has a lot of APAC associations, and I don't.
Does she?
It's been a long time since I thought about her, actually, so I may be wrong there, but there's still a couple of things I've seen that made me a little cynical about her.
Well, that's a tricky thing too, because there's
at
these
least according to Google AI,
that they funnel money
she
through.
does not.
Yeah, I thought
Citation
she was pretty
needed,
firmly. Yeah,
because
she was rallying.
No, I'm not saying she takes APAC money. I'm just saying she seems to have a lot of associations. She's very friendly with some people that take APAC money. I didn't say she takes APAC money.
Right.
Things were going so well.
I'm just going to answer my question with a single word: would. All right.
Would. Yeah.
We've done our hour. We've yapped. Let's see what the next week brings, because I'm sure it's full of fun and magical unicorn farts.
We're gonna have that
America
Iran
250.
Deal. Next week we'll have that Iran deal done.
Oh, I promise, for sure.
And then it will be not done again.
Done, undone, done again. I mean, that's the beauty of it. This is how you stop more wars. Yeah, you create a war, and then you solve it every couple of weeks, and then you go back to war the week after.
I can't solve
more wars.
I can't
completely obliterated Iran 50 times now.
I can't wait to give Iran $60 billion and then kiss their fucking ass. That's great job, Trump.
And on that note, I'd like to thank you guys for joining me, and for all of you out there too. So, till we see you again, is when